Welcome back to Arcade. I'm Vince. In this video, there's a lot to cover since the last. So many things that were updated or made better, and I can't wait to show you. In fact, let me stop rambling. I'll show you all the new stuff right now. So there is so much to cover. There's some web, there's some editor. In fact, let's cover the web stuff first. In this screen, you'll see it's the character customization screen. If I load up the old character customization, you'll see that it takes a long time to load. And this is using the Unity editor. It actually has to load up Unity and all of the things. And it takes roughly 8 to 10 seconds. So what we did is we integrated ARC3DE, and that seems to be going extremely well for us. In fact, check out how long it takes to load up the new character customization screen. And that was pretty quick. Did you see how fast that was? I mean, I was expecting it to be like twice as fast, loading in 5 seconds, but not less than 1 second. So, yeah, that's awesome. Fired up with that, we jumped to other screens and said, what else can we do? So we updated the main page to load actual scenes that you can kind of look at, and it'll go through these scenes, and you can actually move the camera around or rotate the camera to kind of see that scene. And then when you jump into a scene, we also use ARC3DE to show you more of that scene. In fact, let me jump into a better camera view, and you can move around the scene using WASD. And on mobile, you can use pinch zoom. It works very well. If you hold down Shift, you'll move much faster. And again, this is using ARC3DE, and it works out really well. So then when we go in and load the actual scene, that's when we're going to take the kind of long time of loading up Unity. But by then you've kind of seen this, you've played with the scene. That's one of the big new updates. Another item that we updated is we added more fonts, just tons more fonts for you to choose from. So while you're in the editor, you can use any of these fonts, both like in your 3D scene or in your GUIs. Before, it was just Roboto, but we added a bunch more for you to play with. Next on the item is the Spectrum Analyzer. So for audio, we added the ability for you to kind of scrub your music and see. No, that might be a little too loud. Let me load up some other music. This is a little better. But you can see there's a nice little spectrum analyzer, and you can scrub ahead. And this helps with audio. And there's some more controls we'll cover in the editor. In fact, let's jump to the editor now. Alright, so this is one of the scenes that we made for our for Traverse. There's a bunch of new items. We have sway going on in the trees. We have sway going on in the grass, which is a cutout. And both are using a new wind shader to pull this off. And you can change a number of the parameters in it. You probably don't want it that much. Just a little sway. Another new item in the editor. Let me turn off the audio. Another new item in the editor is that we're running things in real time now, as opposed to having time stopped. You can turn off time with these items right here. And this item is for physics. The physics button comes into play when you have physics objects in your scene. Let me import a box and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so let me jump in here, look for box, and grab a box right here. Right, so let me upscale this. And it already has a mesh collider, but let me remove that and add a box collider. We need a rigid body on this. Okay, so rigid body, use gravity. Okay, so we do this, and the box will fall, and then time will, or physics will stop after a short period of time. But with this model, you can actually place objects, physical objects in your scene, run a quick physics simulation, and then it'll come to rest and stop. And that'll put the object exactly where you want it when the scene starts. It's not going to fall or fidget or move. Think of this being really good for other scenarios like a rope bridge, where you don't want to construct your rope bridge to be horizontal and then kind of when you load the level fall under the weight of the bridge. You'd rather make the rope bridge, run physics to actually have it fall and rest, and then save out your scene with the rope bridge dip down, so that when you reload that scene, it'll be in a dip down space and it won't just kind of fall and show what's going on physically. So those are two new items, both time and physics. So another item that we added to the editor is we added gradient skyboxes. And with gradient skyboxes, let me show you what we have available. You can specify the top, middle, and bottom colors, and that gives us a little bit more control over the procedural skybox, which was challenging to get the appropriate colors that you were trying to go for. So in this way, if we wanted the top to be say a purple, a darker purple, we wanted the middle to be a blue, we could pull off other effects. Let me make this a little darker, or go darker in the blue range, but we could pull off something like this. In game, we have we added haptic feedback, so when you want to trigger a haptic event, you can do that, and that is supported both on the 360 controller as well as the Oculus Quest and Oculus Quest 2. Alright, so those were some of the updates, the editor updates, the web updates, but there's more. And I saved the best for last. The big item that I'm really excited to show you guys is scripting. Now scripting, in fact, less talky, more showy. And it's hard to show you guys scripting, but I'll do my best. So in this scene right here, let me jump into the editor. And each of these items, this vehicle has its own script. Here's that script. And this horse over here has its own script. And then these 4 vehicles in the back are opponents that'll race you. And let me just play it while I talk about it. Now those 4 opponent vehicles are going to follow one of those 4 paths. And their vehicles are totally driven by their script as mine is driven by my scripting. So the smoke, the camera, the braking, and the brake lights, all of it, the physics, the wheel physics, all of it was kind of done through scripting. And the more scripting that we added to the engine and the API, the more powerful it got. Let me jump into this other vehicle. Oh, you'll see in the bottom left, I don't know if you can see it. Let me try to change this camera. You can see in the bottom left there's a console log. I believe that's an actual warning, but we're driving logs in room chat. It seems to work out pretty well. Let me also jump onto the horse. Oops. I don't know if you can actually hear the galloping sound or the trotting sound. Or if you go fast, he gets this little smoke behind him. The horse was driven off of code, but in this current iteration, the horse is driven all through script. And the wonderful thing about these scripts is that they're on each game object and they're saved out with them. So you don't have to create all these scripts. you can just use objects that are already scripted. They're just pre-scripted. So when you drop in a vehicle, if it's scripted, you can jump in it and ride around. If you have a horse with script on it to mount, go ahead and mount that horse and ride it around. The speed, the animations, all of that is driven through the script. So I keep using the word script, but for a technical guy like me, that is I hate when they say game changer, but I'm I'm hoping it's going to be something that really changes what we can offer. All right, so let me jump to actual scripts that are available. Underneath editor, there's a button for scripting. As you can see, there are a lot of scripts. In fact, I'll just go to the top and show you high-level groups. There are scripting groups for scene, game object, hierarchy, transform, let me scroll down, animations, particles, and audio, avatar, camera, rigid body, collision and ray casting, wheel colliders, GUI, network, input, we support gamepad and keyboard, logging, and player data. Player data lets you pass data between scenes. And then there's utility functions for float, vector3, and quaternion. So currently it is in beta, but it's very usable. And we're excited to kind of start making some content using all these scripts. Racers, first-person shooters, third-person adventure, a platformer, camera, the gravity, all of that. I'm just rambling away. Script. Okay, so if you want to see some of the levels and some of the content we do with the scripting, I'll show you. If you like the video or you want to see some of that future content with scripting, subscribe and check out the next video. But until next time, thank you for watching. Bye.